Imagine you have just started intermittent fasting. You are a few days in, and suddenly the scale drops by 3, 4, or even 5 pounds. You feel a rush of excitement. You think, finally, the fat is melting away. But I have to be honest with you, that is not fat. At least, not yet. What you are actually experiencing is a massive metabolic flush. For years, frequent eating has kept your insulin levels high. Think of insulin like a tightened valve in your kidneys that forces your body to hold onto sodium and water. It creates a quiet, heavy puffiness that most of us don't even realize we have. The moment you start fasting, that insulin valve finally loosens. Your kidneys breathe a sigh of relief and begin dumping all that stored salt and water. This is why you find yourself running to the bathroom every hour during that first week. It is not a sign of failure. It is the first moment of freedom for your kidneys. As that internal pressure disappears, your blood pressure often drops almost immediately, leaving you feeling lighter and clearer than you have in years. As the initial water flush settles, you might notice something strange during your morning routine. Look closely at the surface of the water in the toilet. If you see bubbles that linger and cling to the edges, like the foam on a glass of beer, pay attention. Your body is sending you a silent distress signal. In the medical world, this is known as proteinuria. It happens when your kidneys' microscopic filters, the glomeruli, become so strained that they start leaking protein into your urine. Most people think eating too much steak or protein powder is the culprit, but that is a common misconception. The real villain is often chronic high insulin and blood sugar. Imagine your kidney filters like a delicate silk mesh. High insulin acts like a high-pressure hose, forcing blood through that mesh with such intensity that the holes begin to stretch and tear. Over time, these tiny vessels stiffen and scar. This is where the magic of 6 months of intermittent fasting truly shines. By keeping your insulin low for extended periods, you finally turn off that high-pressure hose. You give those exhausted filters a chance to rest. As the internal turbulence calms down, the mesh begins to tighten and close those gaps. Many fasters report that after a few months, that stubborn beer foam simply vanishes. Your kidneys aren't just filtering better. They are physically restructuring themselves for the first time in years. By the time you reach the second month of consistent fasting, the healing moves from the surface of the filters deep into the heart of the renal cells themselves. Imagine your kidneys as a massive, high-tech factory that has been running 24/7 for decades without a single day off. The machinery is clogged, the engines are overheating, and the floor is covered in industrial waste. This is where a biological miracle called autophagy kicks in. When you stop eating for extended windows, a genetic switch flips. Your body realizes that no new resources are coming in, so it begins a disciplined search for anything old, broken, or inefficient to use as fuel. Inside your kidney cells, there are tiny power plants called mitochondria. When these wear out, they leak toxic oxidative stress, making you feel sluggish and tired. But during fasting, your body identifies these failing power plants, dismantles them, and recycles their parts to build brand new, high-efficiency engines. This isn't just a cleaning, it is a total hardware upgrade. Your kidneys require an enormous amount of energy to balance your blood every single day. By replacing the junk with fresh cellular machinery, your renal system becomes more resilient. You might not feel this happening directly, but you will notice the side effect: a steady, clean energy that replaces the mid-afternoon fog you used to suffer from. Just when you think you have mastered the art of fasting, usually around the second or third month, your body might throw you a curveball. You might wake up with a strange ache in your lower back, or notice that your urine looks cloudy. Some people even feel a sharp, burning sensation when they go to the bathroom. It's easy to panic. You might think, oh no, fasting is giving me kidney stones. But in reality, what you are experiencing is a deep biological spring cleaning. Think of your body like an old attic. For years, you have been storing away microscopic crystals called oxalates, found in healthy foods like spinach and almonds. These crystals hide quietly in your fat tissues and connective structures. As your body becomes a pro at burning fat for fuel, these stored oxalates are suddenly evicted. They flood into your bloodstream, and your kidneys have to work overtime to flush them out. At the same time, your body is producing high levels of ketones. Here is the scientific twist. Your kidneys use the same exit doors for ketones and uric acid. When ketones are rushing out, uric acid has to wait in line. This temporary backup of uric acid is what causes that stinging sensation. It is not a medical emergency. It is a clearing of the backlog. You aren't growing new stones. You are finally getting rid of the old ones that were already there. It is the final storm before the calm, a necessary transition as your kidneys purge the remnants of your old metabolic life. As you approach the 6-month mark, you might notice something completely unexpected. Your world might start sounding clearer. The constant ringing in your ears might soften, or sounds that once felt muffled suddenly feel sharp. You might wonder, what does my hearing have to do with my kidneys? The answer lies deep in our biological history. Believe it or not, your kidneys and your inner ears are like long-lost twins. They share the exact same embryologic origins. This means they are built from the same cellular blueprint and rely on the same delicate, microscopic circulation to survive. The tiny pumps in your inner ear, which manage the fluids that allow you to hear, require a massive amount of steady energy. Just like your kidneys, for years, systemic inflammation and high insulin have been metabolic noise, stressing these fragile systems. But now, after months of fasting, that noise is gone. As the inflammation in your kidneys retreats and your blood flow stabilizes, the same healing echoes through the tiny vessels of your cochlea. By repairing your internal filters, you are indirectly restoring your sensory world. It's a quiet confirmation that your body isn't just surviving, it is finally coming back into perfect, vibrant balance. 6 months. It is not just a milestone, it is the birth of a new metabolic identity. Your kidneys have survived the floods, weathered the oxalate storms, and rebuilt themselves from the inside out. But as we reach the finish line, we must remember that power requires respect. If you are managing advanced kidney disease or type 1 diabetes, your path requires a different kind of care. Fasting is a precision tool, and for these groups, the rapid shifts in electrolytes can be more of a risk than a reward. Always move forward with professional guidance. For everyone else, here is your daily insurance policy to keep those filters pristine. Start with 500 milliliters of pure water. Add 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar to steady your blood sugar. Squeeze in a fresh lemon slice for that vital citrate, the natural enemy of kidney stones. And finally, add a small pinch of mineral salt to keep your electrical system stable. This simple ritual isn't a detox. It is structural support for the hardest working machinery in your body. You have spent 6 months clearing the noise and restoring the rhythm. Now, you aren't just a person who fasts. You are someone with a resilient, high-performance biology, ready for whatever comes next. Congratulations on the journey. I will see you in the next one.